Alright folks, I'm excited to bring you this course vlog. Welcome to Eagle Springs Golf Resort in Eagle, Wisconsin. This is a really fun and quirky 9-hole course that's regularly ranked among tops in the country for 9-holers. And it's the oldest golf course in Wisconsin, opened in 1893 as an 18-hole course. Dysart Spalding is credited with the design of the holes here, but I think there's a good case to be made, and I agree with the Wisconsin Hickory golfers that Tom BENDELOW is probably the person behind the design. He worked for Spalding, and it's easy to see how Spalding may have been incorrectly credited with the design. So I'm using my primary Hickory set for this round, 2 Louisville Golf replica woods, 5 authentic irons, and my trusty Tom Stewart RTJ putter. And here's my Wilson zip with the custom antique mesh pattern. Here's a scorecard for Eagle Springs. It's a shorter course, but a lot of quirk, a lot of tricky greens here, and it starts off with a short par 4, 298 yards. There's a blind tee shot if you play this from the tips, but the distance is about the same. You can just see the flag on the horizon there. It's not a bad start here. This was a cold, blustery spring day in Wisconsin. And my playing partner today is Tim Shaw. He lives in Wisconsin. We've been best friends for more than 25 years and learned how to play golf together, and it was a lot of fun to share this experience with him. He's playing with his modern clubs. I built him a Hickory set, but he's not quite ready to take the leap yet into Hickory. Starts this off pretty well. It's a drivable par 4, so once you get it over the crest of the horizon, there's a hill there, and Tim had a pretty nice tee shot.
Okay, well then I'm going to aim. If you go at the pin, it's very much a punch bowl down there. I'm going to aim at that tree to the left and then try to roll it in. Yep. Center green and let it funnel down. Right.
Tim would make a good caddy, and if I listened to him more often, I'd be a better golfer.
Nice shot. Stay back.
I took his advice this time.
Oh. It's coming back. Look at that. Nice shot.
And that is a fun way to start a round of golf.
Great shot.
A great start to this course. Really set the tone for the round for me. Tim's got a tricky pitch here. Got lucky. And because of the punch bowl nature of where the flag was at on that particular day, that ball funneled pretty nicely for him. This is a birdie attempt for Tim. And that's good.
Oh, that's a good putt. Yeah, that's it. Birdie. Very good.
Here's my birdie attempt.
Get in there.
And not bad. I'm not going to complain about par to start any round of golf.
Good start though.
Now I just want to show you what happens if you're up on the top tier of the green. This is the second time around on this day. And tricky putt from up here.
Actually pretty well done.
Yeah, not quite as good as Tiger, but close.
Better than most. Better than most.
So after that fun start, you get to take on the signature hole, the Volcano, or you can do an easier alternate if you don't want to climb the hill, the Volcano. So here's a look at the alternate hole. It's a short little 120-yard shot downhill. I played really well on this hole, but it didn't count because the Volcano is what you're here to play at Eagle Springs. So here's Tim's tee shot at this tough par 3. And if you've never played a Volcano before, it's pretty much pinpoint accuracy is paramount. There's nowhere to bail out on this hole except for the green, and the green is small.
Yep.
So as you'll see here in a moment, if you don't hit the green, you're in for a long hole. I just pushed that a little bit too far right, careened down the hill. I wanted to be real careful here because I didn't want to go over onto the other side. So I'm using my niblick, just trying to punch that up over the ridge. And wouldn't you know it,
Still end up hitting it over. I'm going to try opening it up, Tim.
So announce to Tim that I'm trying to flop shot here, so he's got heads up. And that wasn't too bad considering. It was kind of a tight lie. I got lucky that the ball hung up on the rough here. Using the niblick again. Got a little unlucky with that bounce, otherwise it would have probably been okay.
At least that one's below the hole coming back up.
But you can see how strokes can really add up on this hole if you don't make it on the green. So here's Tim's birdie attempt, though. He got a nice tee shot up at the front. Just missed
Nice
that.
putt. Good par.
And I gave this putt to Tim, but he insisted on putting it, and this is what happens. Yep, you missed those. You got to take the gimmies. Just take the gimme.
Give him par.
All right, so now I don't even know what I'm trying to stroke here, but trying to get off the hole. Not a bad putt.
Does it even matter?
Great question, Tim, but meaning of life aside, I think I ended up with a 7. So number 3 is another short par 4, 306 yards, and Tim's already starting to trot out the excuses.
Stiffen up a little bit.
Yeah, it was too.
Insisted on blaming me for it and not the foursome ahead of us.
It was all that waiting I had to do on that last hole for you.
It was.
So Tim's line here is basically over those pine trees. He's aiming for the area that would be between the 5th green and the 3rd green. And with modern clubs on this hole, that's doable. Tim's got the length to get out that far. And it's a good example of the difference between approach with Hickory clubs and modern clubs. So my line here is much more in line with what the original design of the hole was. I'm basically aiming straight, trying to split those 2 trees that are up on the horizon there to put myself in position. And pretty much did just that. I was real happy with that tee shot.
Yeah, that'll work. That'll do, pig. That'll do.
Gotta love Babe. All right, so I'm sitting about 130 yards out here, trying to pitch a mashie up to the green, roll it up through the fairway that leads into the green, and end up hitting out a little short.
Still working on that shot.
So now I'm doing the same thing, but this time with a putting stroke in the mashie. And fortunately got that one to roll up. Meanwhile, Tim was just off the green here between the 5th green and the 3rd green and chipped up. So now he's putting for birdie. I really thought that one was going to drop. I should mention here that Tim and I have a running competition with one another each season that we call the Villarica Classic, and it stretches over multiple rounds of golf, and it's basically modified Stableford scoring, and whoever's got the most points at the end of the season wins a trophy. Just between me and him, and it's a lot of fun, but you should know that there's something on the line here when you're watching us play today. All right, so number 4, par 4, 401 yards. This one's tricky because there's a pretty deep gully on the left side of the green that really gets into play because you can't really see where your approach is headed. Both Tim and I avoided the left side off the tee. Tim was actually in the 5th fairway. I wasn't too far left of that. So I'm in the rough here using the jigger, try to get it back into play. Not too bad. Got me back in the fairway. But here you'll see where it's a tricky approach. So you really still can't see the area in front of the green. And it's hard to know exactly what to aim at. So I ended up going further left than I should have and ended up not in the worst part of the gully, but a tricky part nonetheless. So I'm using the mashie niblick here. And I didn't quite give that enough. So it's going to settle just short of the green. This is a similar green to number 1, where you have kind of a 2-tier setup and a punch bowl, and the pin was in the punch bowl on this day, so really all you needed to do was get the ball up and take the ridge down to the hole. And as you'll see in a second, that was a pretty good effort on my part.
Nice.
And there it is. So Tim's up on the top of the ridge. He's got a tricky putt here. And not quite better than most. And there's a nice tap in. To move on to number 5, par 4, 413 yards. This one is pretty much straight downhill from the tee. Pretty happy with that tee shot. Tim's tee shot ended up going right again to number 4 fairway. I'm sitting here in the middle and I'm trying to basically get to the end of the fairway without getting into the rough. But I hit that jigger a little too well. Yeah, I was a little frustrated with that because that was the second time that day. I tried to play it safe and ended up getting burned. But that's golf. That's the way it goes. Here's a tricky pitch over the water. Tim hoisted it up real nice. Got it drop close.
That's a good shot.
So I'm feeling pretty good. You know, I just watched a good shot. I think I can do that too with the mashie niblick. Nope. And I used some language unbecoming of a Hickory golfer there that I had to blank out.
Bleep that out.
But like a lot of my shots, I end up with a bad one, and then it's an opportunity to recover. And I did just that with that chip in the mashie. And I got some Stableford points on the line here and hit the putt.
All right.
Did I get a stroke on that?
You did get a stroke.
Woo!
So
That's a net par.
All right, number 6 is another short par 4, 291 yards. Drivable for modern clubs, not drivable for me. Especially if I put my tee shot left and clip a tree.
Oh, well, kick back to the right.
Tim's using a 3-wood here. Aiming straight ahead in between the valley. And
Nice
a
shot.
perfect shot. One of Tim's better swings of the day.
Yeah, good shot.
So I'm using the jigger here to get it back into the fairway. Trying to hit a bullet, and I did just that. Was real happy with that shot.
Might be the best shot I've hit with.
And I do believe that is the best shot I've ever hit with that jigger. So now I got a mashie niblick here to punch it over the elevated green. Pretty happy with that.
Tim's playing a 58-degree wedge
What's that?
here. I'm talking to the people. 58-degree wedge here. Oh, that looks good.
Get up.
Oh.
Bad kick.
But now he's got a chance to recover
Oh!
and takes advantage.
Nice chip.
So now I got a long par putt here. And that's a pretty good effort. And I was waiting for Tim to give that to me. I know that's not proper etiquette, but I didn't think he was going to give it to me. I wanted to let him know that I wanted that putt.
We'll give you both. Here, let's both take them. Let's just see what happens.
You got it.
Thought better of it, though. We both need to practice with these short ones.
Not you personally, but everyone.
So after this song and dance, there we go. Moving on to number 7. Cool par 3 here, 133 yards from an elevated tee and one of the prettier vistas on the course. So I'm using my mashie here. Right club if I hit it well. And I hit it okay, but not quite good enough. Meanwhile, I think I may have mentioned to Tim that he looked like Rick Shields with his beard, and he let that go straight to his head, because then he ended up doing this. Great shot.
Oh.
That was definitely the shot of the
Nice
day.
shot.
Now, if you've been watching my course vlogs, you know this is not a fun spot for me to be in. And I swear I've gotten better at these shots since these course vlogs were filmed. I know I say that every course vlog, but you'll just have to trust me. Maybe in a month and a half or so, I'll show you a better sand game than what you're watching right now. I'm going to use the mashie niblick there to punch it back up. Tim's got a nice opportunity for birdie here. Just didn't read that quite right. I thought I'd try to get in his head by putting my shadow in the way, but then I didn't realize his own shadow was in his putt, so that did not bother him, and he drained it for the par. All right, so moving on to number 8. Par 5, 447 yards. Got another blind tee shot, but you have a line here between these two trees. That's where you want to go. I decided to make it a little more difficult, so I went over the tree on the left, but I didn't hit the branch and ended up getting a clean lie on the left side. So rough is still pretty thin, so I'm using the 21-degree Jack White spoon from Louisville Golf. First time in the round, actually, and was pretty happy with that swing. So now I'm really licking my chops because I know what lays ahead here. I've already played the hole once today, and all I have to do is get this ball in the middle of the fairway about maybe 120 yards and let it take the slope all the way to the hole, and then I do that. It's one of the most frustrating things that happens to me on a regular basis. I know exactly what I want to do, and I end up having to do the shot twice. So now I'm doing the same thing. You know, you'll see the slope here using the mashie. This is what I'd hoped to do the first time. But again, that's golf. What can you do? I just misread that putt. Tim actually picked up on this hole because he tweaked his back on the tee. It was pretty cold by this point, and this was the end of the day for us. All right, so number 9 is going to take us home. Par 4, 391 yards, an S fairway that gives you two options. You can hit the fairway on the right, or you can try to cut it in half and go to the left, and that's what I tried to do. And just for fun, I wanted to try Tim's driver. I have not swung a modern driver in about 2 years, and I don't think I'm going to start doing it again now either.
I didn't like it. I can't feel the head. I know it's like probably D1 or so, but I couldn't feel the head in the swing. There you go.
And that was a great way to end the day for Tim, despite his back tightening up.
Still felt like my back came out of my skin.
All right, so here I am with the jigger. All I got to do is get this in the fairway. Jigger's been good to me so far today. And then it decides to not be good to me. Yeah, patience are running pretty thin with that jigger. So now I'm back to the mashie, about 150 yards out. Pretty good contact there, but came short of the green, which you'll see in a moment is kind of a gully area. So I'm hoping to chip this up to the green. And the right idea there, just didn't have enough oomph to get to the green. As I'm slowly working my way toward the end of this hole and this round, I just want to say that played a lot of golf courses at this point, and everybody's got one of those where you ask, what course would you want to play for the rest of your life if you could only play one more? Right now, that course is Eagle Springs. I love this course. I thought it was a blast, and I can't wait to play it again. Really appreciate you watching Tim and I play it today, and I'll see you next week with another course vlog. In the meantime, check out my round of 9 holes at East Hartford with band and specialty clubs in the upper right. And then I've got another video you can watch about buying hickories in antique stores and tips for that. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe.